What's the second reason? Well, we want God to be more tolerant of us, less demanding, and less judgmental. Okay? Just like today, the crowd of people that we want to hang out with, we want to associate with people that aren't judgmental of us, that accept us. Correct? It's just natural for us to want to be liked. It's just natural for us to want to be accepted by our peers. Alright? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but then we take that and we say that's what we want our God to be also. We want our God to be more tolerant of us and less demanding, less judgmental. Alright? So the third thing is, that I want to touch on, we are humans also very committed to individualism. Now, to sort of speak on what I'm trying to say here is, say we're in the lunch line at the cafeteria and there's 100 choices of food, okay? Now we're going to go up there and we're not going to take every single one. We're just going to take what we like or what we want, correct? That's us expressing our individualistic likes, I guess. That's us expressing our individualism in a very practical manner when we're in the lunch line at a cafeteria and we just take and choose what we want. Okay? So, and there's many other reasons, and I hope you guys talk about some of these other reasons, okay? Go ahead, hit on the next question. I already touched on that. So, all of this leads to idols, and the essence of idolatry is to entertain wrong thoughts about God. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get at. All these thoughts that we have about God and who we want them to and who we want Him to be, and all these other reasons about why people say, I should make God who I want Him to be, they're all idolatry thoughts. Alright? And idolatry, as it says in the Bible, is a sin. So, real quick though, let's jump into Psalms 115. Use this Bible, because that one's smart. Psalms 115, 3-8. And Psalms here says, real briefly, on what our God is, okay, and what He's not. It says, our God is in the heavens. He does all that He pleases. Not what we please, or not what our friends please for Him, but God is in the heavens, and He does all that He pleases. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of human hands. Other people they make Him to have mouths, but do not speak, eyes, but do not see. They have ears, but do not hear, noses, but do not smell. They have hands, but do not feel, feet, but they do not walk, and they do not make a sound in their throat. Those who make them become like them. So do all who trust in them. Alright? So, first part is talking about God and who He actually is and what He does. And it's very blunt. I'll give you that. It's very blunt. He says He does all that He pleases. And then the next part, it talks about what we, as humans, oftentimes do. We make idols. And then it says, and for those who make these idols, they become like them, and so do all who trust in idols. Okay? So, that's the first thing. So, what should we do? Well, I hope you guys, through this year, will come along on a journey with us, with me at least, and talk about and read some of these promises that the Bible here says that God is. In Hebrews 11:6 is the first promise. And it says, and without faith it is impossible to please Him, for whoever would draw near to God must believe that He exists, and that He rewards those who seek Him. And then the second one is in James. Just turn over like 3 pages. James 4:8. And here James says that we are to draw near to God, and and he will draw near to you. So, both of those verses talk about the promises that God will do when we take this journey and we seek him and who he is. Not who we want him to be, but who he is. So, here's I got 3 more points on how a practical way that I hope we should start looking about who God is. And the first one is that we have to forget all else, separating ourselves from other creatures and giving ourselves wholly to God. The second one is that we must have a love for God. Alright? It's God and God alone cannot satisfy our hearts, or yes, God and God alone is the only one that can satisfy our heart's desire, and that's the third one. Okay? So, all of this being said, it is a heart thing. It's a heart choice. So, now we've started this journey, and I want you guys, go ahead and click on that. I just want to, yeah. That's the last question, and that's the one that I hope you guys will touch on in these small groups a lot, is I want you guys to think about where are some of the places that you have felt like you've encountered God, alright? Think back. Was it time when you separated yourselves? Was it time when you had this earnest desire to have this fulfillment within your heart, or within your spirit? Was it a time, was it in noise, you know? I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe somehow with all the noise and everything, you somehow separated yourselves and you just were fulfilled by the Holy Spirit. Think back. Because that's what we want to do this year, is we want to encounter God for who he is, not what we want him to be. Alright? Because remember, the most important thing about us is what comes into our minds when we think about God.